When was the last time you did something for the first time? Everybody, let's get together. Oh, open up a whole new world. It's just around the corner. Oh, you wanna dream about it, think about it, talk about it. Let's do something about it so that you can shout about it.
Welcome once again to A House Around the Corner. I'm your host, Tricia Ziemer, and we're here with Jill Bilston from the Louis Joel Arts and Community Centre. Jill, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Trish. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Now, your group have had a life-changing journey to Uganda and back. Can you tell me about it?
Well, Trish, we work for a cooperative. Our community centre is managed by a cooperative. This year is the United Nations International Year of the Cooperative. We wanted to develop an international journey of some significance that would have meaning for the whole of Altona.
So this project culminated in a trip to Uganda.
A trip to Uganda to travel to the impenetrable Bawindi rainforest and work with 20 women to create a sustainable sewing program.
So come join us as we follow the 3 Altona travellers to Uganda and back.
I guess the story started last year when I was in Uganda and I went to see the gorillas. I decided to go into the village because I'm actually a quilter and I was looking for African fabric. And I eventually found a shop with a group of women. They were called Ride for a Woman. And they couldn't work out why I would buy a metre of fabric because they would buy 6 metres because they wore it as clothing. And I told them I was a quilter and I was going to make quilts from their fabric. And they asked me if I'd send a photo of what I did with their fabric, which, when I got home, I did. Then I got a letter back, well, it's not a letter, an email saying, would I be willing to come across to Uganda and teach them sewing so they could make quilts to sew to tourists. I thought about it and I thought we could make journal covers, we could make bags, really light things that they could make. So I talked to Jill and Kim at Louis Joel and said, would you be interested in coming? So I guess that's where the project started.
The whole concept of this project is to go for 3.5 weeks, to do the sewing, to teach people how to sew using a treadle, to develop the 4 products so that they're easy to make and people feel very comfortable and confident in producing them.
Through the course of the 3.5 weeks, we'll have 20 women fully trained, and then those 20 women train another 20 women so that they can teach. So we're leaving with that whole continuity aspect in place so that people are skilled and are able to teach others the same skills. And that way we can be assured that the project won't finish as we leave.
So Kim and I will actually be teaching sewing, and Jill will work with their community to try and get their products into the lodges.
When we started to look at sewing machines for the project, we came across, of course, the knowledge that there's not a source of power that's a dedicated source of power. So there is power in areas in the town. A lot of people use solar power. But the community centre we're going into has no power, so we needed to use a machine that doesn't require power. In the third world countries, the treadle machine is still is number one. We didn't realise how popular it is, how easy it is to get. I've sewn now for a number of years, so I've been doing patchwork for about 15, 16 years. And I have a fully electronic machine. It cuts its own thread, it has a needle threader. It's just brilliant. I now have 2 left feet trying to operate a treadle machine and not go backwards all the time. And then trying to get a straight line as well. It's not just operating the machine, but it's also trying to get some accuracy with the machine too, which is why we just need to keep practicing at the moment. It's going to look a little strange if we get over there and set up all these machines and we can't operate them.
We're very excited about going to Uganda and starting the project, and we really want it to be successful after all this work. And also the community has a lot of expectations from us because the whole of Altona has backed us. We had an afternoon tea as a fundraiser and there was 200 people came. We didn't even know half of them and we raised $4,500 and it was only a $5 donation. So people were just putting money in. So we have responsibility to them. I've been quilting for 20 years and this is my first exhibition, and I guess it's a retrospective really of the different stages I've been through. There's a real African theme because whenever I go to Africa I'm always buying African fabric. I've started to design my own African quilts now, which has been really interesting and a learning process. What inspires me about Africa is the people, and the people change with the different countries you go to. They're incredibly friendly and joyous, and really they've got nothing. They don't know where their next meal is often coming from, and yet they're happy. They don't have things.
The project is very exciting, and I think we need to pay tribute to the passion that Tricia feels about Africa. She said something very interesting last week when we were working on our third last checklist of 2 pages. She said, you know, in a way, because I've been to different countries in Africa 4 times and I'm going with a great team to do something really worthwhile, I feel like I'm going home.
Quality education and training to people of all ages and backgrounds, and has hundreds of locations across regional Victoria.
Learn Local gave me the opportunity to complete my schooling and get the job I wanted.
I never completed school, but I got the training I needed to get a great job.
At Learn Local, I did the course I wanted to change my career.
Learn Local, flexible, friendly and just around the corner. Take your next step with us. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.